My name is Anne Musamba. I just want to say thank you to all of the panelists. This question is for Boris. In an era where global entertainment industries increasingly reward cultural products that are Western friendly, as seen in K-pop and Afrobeats artists collaborating with US stars, should African cinema orient itself toward Hollywood validation as a benchmark of success? Or given Africa's rapidly expanding population and cultural confidence, is it time to rethink whether Western markets should remain the dominant metric for African cinematic achievements?
Two more questions.
I'm probably gonna forget it. Good question. Right? For some odd reason, we're still seeking validation from the West, which is a whole other therapy session that we could have. I think that Africa must invest in storytelling, just like industrial economies invest in factories. You know, culture and content is the factory that produces perception. Perception being the biggest challenge that we have, and perception drives capital. So we must own the entire content value chain, from development to production to distribution and monetization of our own IP that we own, right? Because when we do that, we keep Africa safe from falling in the trap of having their story be told through the lens of exterior influences, which then perpetuates old narratives and old stereotypes again, over and over. So by scaling authenticity, by scaling our stories, Africa stops being the subject of stories and becomes the author of its own global identity, which is tremendously important as it pertains to what you just said. So I know people are saying the industry is dying and it's changing. The only thing that's changing is the way that we have started consuming content, because we consume content on our phones now. So as content producers and creators, we have to match the way consumers consume that content. And that's not the old Hollywood model. The reason why everybody's saying, you know, the industry is dying is because they're trying to hold on desperately to the old way of doing things. What has happened is that technology has risen, which is the great equalizer. So now everybody can be in the content business, which is actually a great thing because creativity rises to the top. What that means for Africa is that we have 900 million smartphones on the continent by 2030. That's 3 times more than in the US and Europe combined. That is a very powerful means to distribute content. More numbers, I like numbers. Again, every 4th person is going to be African by 2050. The content spent globally is almost $300 billion this year. Creative industries and global creative industries over $2 trillion. So what has to change is our attitude towards creative industries, because it is literally the most effective way, not just to tell a story, but also to establish an identity. The DoD, the Department of Defense in the United States, has spent over $14 billion in the last 10 years funding Hollywood movies. Terminator, basically every Tom Cruise movie, because those movies tell a story, just like an advertising or marketing campaign. The U.S.'s marketing and advertising spend is $1 trillion per year. So as Africans, we must take ownership of our IP. We must take ownership of our content. We must take ownership of every single piece of the content value chain, because that's the only way how we can affect not just economic impact straight to the GDP, but also have huge global influence and control the way we are being perceived. Does that answer your question?
Wow.
Thank you.
Pander to the West. I actually disagree, and I think that's the thing of this is an opportunity to change that perception, that narrative, because in the notes that was given to me before I came up here, I actually had a thought as to a response, even though the question has not been asked yet. And that is, in the way that, one of the few ways that the African has been able to be his authentic self, not through the filter of be it Hollywood or the music industry, is music. And the way Afrobeats is literally dominating the world, not as directed by the folks in New York or LA. I think they are the ones who want to come and say, let us partner with these guys, as opposed to, oh, let us go and, be aligned with them. Because, and I think that is also an indication that this, as she said it, it wasn't me. The style of democracy we practice in Africa, which is also informed by the way our finances are run, are very much imposed as a colonial legacy. It is not our own, which is why, if we want to be truthful and honest, which is why we are stumbling, which is why it's not working. But when we are producing our own music, the white man did not teach us music. Their systems didn't teach us music. So when we are performing at that height, trust me, there's nothing they want to put out that's going to want to compete if they want to be honest with themselves. So,
thank you so much.